Hey everybody, today I'm to show you my golden XP farm for the nether dimension. So you might have seen similar farms before, they've been around for quite a while, and this farm is also based on the original concept that was shown by snocrashes. But my farm is a lot more efficient and just simple or even simpler to build. So just in case you don't know yet how those farms work, you need to anger one of the pigmen by throwing a snowball at him, and then he would alert all the other pigmen. And they would try to kill the player, run towards him, and even if they're not directly killed by a player hit, they would still drop the XP. So in case of this farm, they are killed by entity cramming, so we have 4 killing cells, and there are 24 stacked minecarts each. So the XP then tries to fly towards the player, and the player just has to pick it up. So you could either stand AFK or do some tasks like enchanting tools or forging tools with anvils. So why is this farm faster or more efficient than similar concepts? The key to fast mob farms is to kill the mobs as quickly as possible in order to free some space under the mob cap again. So in a normal world the mob cap is 70, which means that no more than 70 mobs exist at the same time. After that the spawning attempts just stop. So you're limited by this mob cap, and if you kill the mobs quicker, then new mobs could spawn sooner, and over the time just get more mobs. So in order to make sure I kill the mobs as quickly as possible, I made sure they can take a direct path towards the player or the killing cells. So no matter where they spawn, they can always take a direct path and don't have to run around any corner or take a longer way, like in similar concepts. The farm is built above the nether at Y255 in order to guarantee the perfect spawning conditions. So mobs below the bedrock in the normal nether would despawn immediately. They're out of the 128 block radius. And basically only mobs in the mob farm do exist for longer than 1 game tick, and you can use the whole mob cap just for the mob farm. My farm also gets rid of some minor issues that similar concepts have. For example, the zombie pigmen calling for zombie reinforcements. So if a zombie or zombie pigman gets hurt or damaged, then there's a chance that it would call for zombie reinforcements. And the zombie reinforcements can happen up to 30 blocks away from the damaged pigman, and they are quite an issue because the normal zombies, they don't pathfind like the normal zombie pigmen, and they would keep piling up. So if I wouldn't place those torches around the farm, then you would always have like 5 to 10 zombies standing around filling up the mob cap. So in order to prevent zombie reinforcement spawning, you need a light level of 10 or higher, and that's why there's this torch pattern on all the platforms. The zombie reinforcements can also spawn on glass, unlike normal zombies. That's why I also placed the torches on top of those. So other similar farms have the issue that the aggro chain might break after a few hours, and the farm would just completely stop working after a while, and the pigmen are no longer hostile towards you. So my farm, I think, is quite reliable in that regard. I had it running for over 50 hours and it was still working. So I made sure that the aggro chain doesn't break by placing 3 alarm pigmen on the diagonals of each farm. The player also has direct eye contact from the AFK spot to the alarm pigmen in order to keep them hostile or aggroed. So I tried it with a single alarm pigman in the corners, but then the farm also broke for me after a few hours. So by having 3 in each diagonal, I'm quite sure that the chance is now really low that the farm would break. I'm not entirely sure, would have tested for thousands of hours, but I'm quite sure that the chance is now really, really low. The 3 pigmen on the diagonals also alert the other pigmen, and I even got better rates by using 3 of those instead of just 1. So I guess they would alert the other pigmen quicker, and they would start walking earlier. So it's actually beneficial to have 3 instead of 1 also for this case. Then they're also named with name tags, so they don't despawn, and also they no longer count towards the mob cap. So in order to get rid of the magma cubes, which spawn twice as much since 1.10, there are iron golems placed around the farm. So if there's an iron golem within 16 blocks of a magma cube, the magma cube tries to attack the iron golem and falls down and would later despawn. So those glass blocks on top of the highest spawning platform prevent ghast and large magma cube spawning, enderman spawning is already prevented by the light level of the torches. So enderman would need a light level of 7 or lower to spawn at all. So you might have also noticed those anvils here on the side, because they're really the perfect block for this purpose here. Because the gap between 2 anvils is enough, so 2 pigmen could fit in there at the same time. And still, at the bottom, 1 set of minecarts is enough for the 1.25 wide gap. But they're kind of optional, so you don't really need to use the anvils if you don't have the iron. There's just the perfect block here. If you have just a 1 wide gap, then it could happen that 2 pigmen would try to enter the same gap at the same time and block each other. And then you need to wait until new pigmen are coming in from the back to push the other 2 ones in. But this problem is completely solved by the use of the anvils, and the farm is just slightly faster because of the mob cap is freed faster because of the lower killing time. But it's really optional. If you don't have the iron, use normal blocks instead, and the farm will just be slightly less efficient. So the farm is actually quite simple to build, and there's also some leeway for errors. If you don't build the spawning platforms precisely as this, the worst thing could happen that the farm is just slightly less efficient. There's really no problem. Then it also doesn't use a single redstone circuit, so there's also no source for errors there. And of course I left some open ends, so of course you have to hook up your preferred storage system to it. Just have those hoppers here that lead into it. And let's talk about the amount of spawning spaces. So this farm got 5,600 of them, which is the perfect number really. I tried it with 3 layers and got significantly less. Also tried with 5 layers and didn't get quite a significant benefit from it. So 4 layers is enough, 5,600 spawning space is enough. For comparison reasons, snocrashes farm, for example, uses 9,200 spawning spaces, which is way too much and is actually not necessary. Let's also talk about the rates of this farm. So I'm using Nemon's Carpet mod in order to count the items for me. So let's see. So we get almost 8,000 golden nuggets per hour, then 350 gold ingots, and almost 1,400 golden swords. I did a 10-hour test earlier, this was just the last 30 minutes, but I got similar results. I actually got above 8,000 gold nuggets during the 10-hour test. Okay, so if we would count the gold ingots in nugget form and smelt all the golden swords, you would get about 12,500 golden nuggets per hour. The amount of XP is also quite great. So you get 117,000 XP per hour. This is actually quite close to the max amount you could get from pigmen. So you could only, in theory, pick up 150k XP from the pigmen, and actually quite close to it. So you can see there's almost always an XP ball around the player. So let's also see a direct comparison of snocrashes farm. So here we get 5,300 golden nuggets per hour. So compared with my farm, we got 8,000 there. So it's about 53% more in my farm. Also, the amount of XP is a lot lower because a lot of the XP gets lost. So in this farm, we just get about 40 to 50,000 K XP. Depends a little bit. So significantly less. In my farm, we almost get 3 times as much. Okay, now let's start with the tutorial. You can find the material list in the video description. Okay, of course you need to get through the bedrock first, and I also would recommend to remove some bedrock later to get some permanent access to the top of the nether. But it's not part of the tutorial. If I forget to link it, you can just search on YouTube how to do that. Anyway, let's get started with the actual build. So we want to make a ladder upstairs from the bedrock level to Y138. So if you check looking at, the block is placed at Y238, and then place some hoppers on 4 corners. So in the middle is of course your center spot, and the AFK spot goes on top. Also, by the way, I switched to the overworld dimension because it's the better atmosphere and a better visibility. There's also the same farm built in overworld if you want to check out the world download. Okay, so now let's continue. We need to place a hopper minecart on top of all the hoppers. This, remove the rail again, then push in a block that you can place a rail on inside of the minecart. So I recommend just any building block. Okay, push it down. And remove this again. Would also recommend to place some blocks around this, so there's no chance the minecart would ever glitch out again. And do this for all 4 hoppers. Okay, so your storage system would go below those hoppers. As you can see, there's really enough space to do whatever you want. I want to do a furnace array for those gold swords. Yeah, that's up to you. Anyway, let's continue here. So let's close this, and here I recommend to place a trapdoor. Don't know when they fixed it, but I think it's since 1.9 you can actually climb up trapdoors. This is quite nice. You can also close it. Okay, now let's continue. We need rails on top of those blocks for the stacked minecarts. And it's actually better if they face towards the middle, so they don't go back and forth. So in order to achieve that, do something like this. Just those 2 sides you need to adjust. Okay, then we need a slab, top slab. So the top slab is there so the XP can fit under it, but no zombie pigman babies or even chickens from the chicken jockeys get fit under it. Only the XP, so it can reach the player. So place a top slab. Okay, then we need the anvils, left and right of the rails. As I said, the anvils are kind of optional. If you don't have the iron, you can also use normal blocks instead, but the anvils are a little bit more efficient for the farm. You can also place the normal blocks first, and once you have an iron farm, do the anvils later. Okay, let's also close this up, and also let's place the 24 minecarts here, so you can just stack them on the rails and click multiple times. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's how many you need. Yeah, do this for all 4 sides again. Okay, now it should look like this. Of course, those anvils, with their long side, they face towards the middle. So there's a 1.25 meter gap in between the 2 anvils. Okay, now we need to place some temporary blocks here in order to place trapdoors against. 6 in total. So they are like top trapdoors that you activate once, and then you can remove those blocks again. That's kind of optional. If you remove them, make sure that you make the space spawn proof. So I'm just gonna build always a quarter of the farm because it's perfectly symmetrical and it will just repeat itself. And let's also close this off. There's no chance it would fall down later. Yeah, like this. So now let's continue here. We fill in the gaps between those anvils, like this. And then we get some slabs and place them on top. And fill up the remaining anvils. And now let's fill in this space. And here we're actually gonna place some stairs against some full blocks. So this is our way up. I also did it in this farm here. So there's a way up. You can climb up here and then get your snowball and just throw it at one pigman. That's how you anger them. Let's actually do that. Haven't shown this yet. Sometimes there's a chance it doesn't work with one of those. Ah, here we go. Okay, so if you anger them, jump on the AFK spot. So this is how you would activate the farm. Okay, back to tutorial. That's actually also part of the tutorial, I guess. Okay, there's the ladder. And you can fill up this space here with whatever you need, maybe some chests, ender chest, enchanting table, so this space is designated for that. Let's put an ender chest there. Maybe additional anvils. I wouldn't recommend to use those, because obviously they keep the pigmen out. Okay, then do this for all 4 sides, what I did here. Obviously you only need the stairs once. Okay, so far so good. We can also add the AFK spot now. So stack up twice and put a top trapdoor next to those temporary blocks. So if you're looking at the block, it's at 242. Check again, so you don't make a mistake and build the farm at the wrong height. Okay, then next step, you need to go outside and make a pathway around it so you can stand on something. Okay. So maybe here. Then get some stairs. And this there, so that people could step up once more and fall into the hole easier. So also bend the stairs like this by just placing them facing that direction. Okay, do this on all 4 sides again. Okay, so this main part is already done. Now we just need to build the spawning platforms. Okay, so here we have to go out like 20 blocks. I would recommend to stick with glass, because otherwise you could get gas spawning if you use a block that mobs could spawn on. Obviously not if you're standing at the AFK spot, but yeah, if you're going upstairs, for example. Okay, we have to go out 20 blocks with the glass blocks for now, and I'm just building a quarter of the farm. It's perfectly symmetrical. Can repeat it 4 times. Okay, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, and then 8 spawnable blocks. There we go. So I did the same on this end, 20 glass blocks and 8 spawnable blocks. Now we need to connect both ends. So we need to place 5 blocks here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then go over, and then 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, go over, then 3, 1, 2, 3, then go over, 2, 2 again, and 2 once more, and then 1, 1, 1, 1. And the same on this side, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 2, 2, and then 4, 1, 1, 1, 1. So now let's do the inside part. So we have to go over 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, then go inside and add more blocks. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1, 2. So 4, 4, 2, 2, 2, and then 1, 1, 1. So this side, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then just connect it like this. Let me actually check. Yep, it's fine. So here's an overview if you need it. So here comes the easy part. Just fill everything in. You have spawning blocks and they have glass blocks. So the next step is placing down the torches. So we need them every 4th block. So we start here and go out 4 blocks. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Up to here. And also here. Same pattern. So a little tip, if you want to avoid getting harassed by ghast, which could actually damage your farm a little bit already, then place down a carpet around each torch for now on the spawning spaces. So this avoids the ghast spawning, and once your farm is... once you build the next layer on top, then those blocks already prevent the ghast spawning. So it's just a little tip on the side if you want to do that. Okay, keep this pattern up, also every 4th block in that direction, and just fill up the complete pattern with a torch on every 4th block. Okay, so if you want, you can also build the other 3 quarters, but I'm continuing here. So with the next layer, just go up 2 blocks. There's an air gap of 2 blocks in between. I'll just build up this line. And now we have to go over again. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Then 1, 2. 1. And 1, 2. And 1, 1, 1. That should be it. Also from this side. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. And 2, 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1. Okay, should be good. Let's actually check. Yep, it's good. Okay, so I also placed in the inside now. I'm really not sure what's the best way to show this. So here we got 1, 2, and then 5 visible blocks, 5, then 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Then also same from the other side. So 1, 2, and 5, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. Really not sure how to show this better. Okay, also fill in the second layer and also place the torches in the same pattern. So wherever you got one at the bottom, also place one on the top, and then just continue here every 4th block or wherever possible. Okay, we can also take a look at the third layer already. So here we go over by 1, but it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 blocks. And now let's take a look at the outside pattern. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 4, 2, 2, 2, and 2 again, and then a lot of 1s. Obviously the same here. So 6, 4, 2, 2, 2, 2, 1, and 1s. Yeah. The inside, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, and same here. So 4, 4, 2, 2, 1, 2, 1. Okay, time for the last layer. We go over by 1 again. Still 8 this side. And let's start from the outside again. So it's 2, 4, 7 this time. Then 3, 3. 2, 1, 2. And then a lot of 1s again. So let's take a look from here. So it's always the same. So it's 7, 3, 3, 2, 1, 2. And then a lot of 1s inside. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 3, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. 4, 3, 3, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Okay. This was the annoying part, I guess. Also fill everything in, then the torch pattern is actually the same. So whenever we have a torch at the bottom, also place one on top, and then every 4th block wherever possible. Okay, I'll fill everything in, and also to the other 3 corners. Yeah, it's actually the same. So obviously, if you have the same blocks going out, then it's perfectly symmetrical. Just have to do all the tasks 4 times. So the next part is actually quite simple. It's putting in those ghast and large magma cube stoppers. So just go to the middle and then go 2 blocks above and place the whole row. Then always leave a space of 2 blocks in between, place the next one, and so on. Then you could also start doing the same coming from this side, and at some point both those lines would merge here. Then just do one last one, also with 2 blocks in between, right here. Okay, next step is the iron golems and zombie pigmen. So the iron golems are quite easy. Just again from the middle, go out 5 blocks and place your iron golem on top. Let's actually do one in case you don't know it. Just need this iron block structure and place a pumpkin on top. Just do it on the side here. So it works like this, and a pumpkin on top. Yeah, let's get rid of them. Okay, then also place another iron golem 6 blocks above. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then on the 6th block place the other golem. It's basically on the same height as the 3rd layer. One golem always covers 2 spawning layers, so the slimes that spawn here can see the golem directly. The eye contact is important. Also from the top layer they can see the golem's eyes. Okay, so those are the middle ones. Then we also have 2 on the side. It's actually quite simple. So at the bottom layer you have 4, 3, 2, and then here in the corner go out 4 blocks. So like this. And then place the golem on top. And it's the same coming from this side. So here we have the corner, go out 4 blocks and place the golem on top. So, and last, those alarming pigmen. Definitely get your name tags ready, you need 12. And to get them on those blocks, so they are on the perfect diagonal. So I actually could follow this thought pattern here. And here's the first one, and then just go over like this, 2 blocks each direction, and there's the space for the other ones. So in order to get those pigmen on top of those blocks, I would actually recommend to just push them over. So just do a demo pigmen here, just push them. There should be plenty around you. So once you get them in place, come on. Okay, then move the blocks and name him. Okay, that's actually it. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye bye.